This is Lisa Tucker, host of The Book Cover, which showcases local literary personalities. So listen to The Book Cover on the Borderline. And remember, don't judge a book by its cover. Hi there, you're listening on The Borderline. We are The Book Cover. I'm Lisa Tucker. And today I have got an author who is a repeat offender here on The Book Cover, Barbara Rajnovich. Did I murder that last name?
Oh, it's Rajnovich.
Oh,
In Croatian, the J is silent. A lot of the words have a J in them, but it's silent, so it's Rajnovich.
Rajnovich. See, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
My grandmother was Croatian, so it's been a long time since I've been exposed. So I apologize, Rajnovich. Okay. So, Barbara,
yeah, that's okay.
Sorry about that. If you're, you know what, the day that I'm having, if your last name was Smith, I'd probably butcher that. So.
Oh, I know. Well, you'd have to ask me how I spelled it, because how many Smiths are spelled, many different ways.
That's correct. Anyway, okay.
I know my single name was really quite simple. And so when I found out that my husband's name was Rajnovich, I thought, oh, yeah, I'm going for that name.
It was different.
Yes, absolutely.
So the last time we talked about the Red Barn series. So remind us all, how did the Red Barn series start with the 3 books? How did those books come to be?
Okay. Well, I mean, I think you have a understanding of what my career was, English and drama teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And in drama, I used to take the fairy tales and rewrite them, sort of like a script writer. So I've always been writing, reducing stories to scripts and vice versa. So when COVID came along, I told you that my sister became quite depressed. And so I thought I would write a little story to try and pull her out of this depression and say, would you illustrate? Because she is an artist. And I thought, if she could illustrate this story for me, well, it didn't work. And so I had to go scrambling to find another illustrator, which amazingly enough I did. A friend, her daughter's an artist, so I got her. And then I had written a couple of more stories, and so I got my daughter-in-law's sister became one of my illustrators. And then perchance I got to know somebody whose friend was also an artist. So, there were my 3 artists, and that was the first 3 stories. The Mouse with the Curly Hair, which was about my sister, and The Otter That Didn't Like Water, and 4 Foxes Late for Dinner. So that was the beginning of the Red Barn series, and I always planned that I would do, I would just keep writing. Once I got started, I couldn't stop. So then I thought, well, it's going to be a series. I sort of thought I was, doing like Harry Potter, I'd have a seven books on the.
Why not, Barbara? Reach for the stars. Why not?
I know. Why not? You never know. So anyway, so then of course I published it myself, which I was not happy with. And then you called me, because I did put it on Facebook, and you called me and introduced me to Brian, which has been absolutely wonderful.
Wow.
And he published it, and this is what where I'm at. And
so you're talking about Brian Davies from Tagona Press here locally.
Brian Davies, yes, of Tagoma. Yeah. So we've had relationship, and I've gone to a couple of the other authors that he has, the launches, and I was supposed to have a launch myself for my little Red Barn series, but the weather did not cooperate. So then I was, of course, coming away to see my family in California and Calgary. So I guess when I get back, we'll see. Maybe when I get back to Ste. Marie, we'll see if there's another opportunity to launch the book.
Oh, I'm sure there will be.
Right now I'm working on another story with one of my previous illustrators, Trudy, the llama that loves drama. So she's doing illustrations for that particular story. And then while I've been away, I'm writing another story called Jack and Pookie Bear, and another story called Red Sunset and Blue Sky. It's about two very, very naughty cats.
So the Jack and Pookie Bear, that's your grandson's name, correct? Jack?
That's my grandson, and this is more or less a real story, because this really did happen to him, and so I read it to him the very first time, and he said, "But Nana, you've made a mistake. That didn't happen. This happened," and so I had to change the story
because he didn't.
I had elaborated and sort of made it a little bit more interesting, and of course, no, we have to stick to the facts.
Well, that's a nonfiction writer in the making.
I think so. Yes, I think so.
So tell me about tell me about Jack and Pookie Bear. Pookie Bear?
Oh, yes, Pookie Bear. Well, that was what Jack called him. He was telling me.
Okay.
That you see, in the place where they live here, I'm in my son's house. In Kings Beach, Lake Tahoe, everybody has their living room and their living area up one whole floor, because there's a lot of bears here, and they're protected. And so my son has a garage on the first floor, and he has another fridge there. And it was Jack's birthday, and they didn't finish he had all his little friends. They didn't finish the cake, and so it was put into the downstairs fridge. And the bear came, and they left the garage door open for some reason. Jacob went away somewhere. And so the bear came in, opened up the fridge, and took the cake. And my son came roaring down the stairs to try and get the bear to drop the cake, and he wouldn't. He went into the next door neighbor's driveway, and Jack, of course, is looking out the window and, yelling, "Oh, my goodness, that bear's got my cake." And the bear looks up, and, of course, Jack's favorite colors are blue and green. So, of course, the icing was blue and green. And the bear has blue and green icing all over its face.
Oh, my goodness.
So, it was quite an interesting story. Now, of course, my story, as the bear's waking up after the long hibernation and is hungry, and so all of a sudden starts to, because bears are very smart and they smell food from like 2 or 3 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Jack did not like that part of the story. So.
But that could have happened. That could be correct. That
part. Yes. Oh, I am. I'm not telling Jack, but I am going to include that.
Don't tell the kid.
It is going to be a little bit more elaborate.
You'll have to teach him about.
And you have to do research on bears, because because I wanted to put the lingo and the language of bears into the story.
Sure.
So at the same time, you're teaching the children about what a bear does and where they go and what do they really eat.
Right.
They don't all ever get to have a cake.
No. No, they don't. And so you'll have to also teach Jack about poetic license.
Yes. Yes.
Let him know
that he is, yeah.
It's not lying.
I did try to say, well, Jack, I'm going to, sort of elaborate on the story a little bit. All I got was a stony silence.
Oh, he did not like that.
No, he didn't understand. So we're a little bit far away from, poetic license yet.
Yeah, right. Because he's 5?
He's 5, yes.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh.
You know what? If he ever comes to town, we'll have to get you.
He will come in the summertime.
Oh, well, maybe we should get you and him on, and he can tell us about the story.
Oh my goodness. He would love that, because he is a talker.
Oh, well, he'd be perfect.
I don't know where he gets that from, but anyway.
That's hilarious. And what does your family think, now that you're writing down with your family, with your son and his family, what does your family think about this kind of second career that you've kind of fallen into?
Well, my son said that, my son, first of all, said he was so proud of me because he said, not everybody does this.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I am on, Facebook, and I'm at the launches, and I see people who are writing, and I think, oh, everybody is doing this. But I guess really it's not true. It really is something that you just either you love doing or you don't do it.
Well, you know what the secret to that is, Barbara, is that
Yeah.
he doesn't live in the Sioux anymore. The
No.
Sioux is a very, very special place, and people that either don't live here, never lived here, or have moved away don't quite get how special we are. The level of skill and creativity and artistry that we have within our small little population is, we would blow any big city per capita out of the water with our creatives and all of our artists and our, visual artists and writers.
I know.
Yeah.
He has forgotten. I know exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about. In fact, that's something that I wanted to ask you because Brian sent me a notice of saying that he was going to start an authors club.
Yes.
In Sault Ste. Marie.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're working on that with Marianne Perry and Judy Schillick.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's so many people that would be able to be a part of this. And now, not everybody publishes with a publishing house. Lots of people do the self-publishing, but now that we actually have 2 publishing houses here in Sault Ste. Marie now.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Sault Ste. Marie is a very special place, and being in drama, of course, I've got to experience that over the years. I did 70 shows on stage at White Pines.
Wow. Wow. And do you remember, Barbara, Pull Chain Theater?
Do I remember what?
Pull Chain Theater. It was at the Purple Lantern.
Oh, Pull Chain?
Pull Chain.
My goodness. I was so a part of Pull Chain.
Okay.
Richard Howard was my idol.
So I went to see he did a version of Glass Menagerie, Tennessee Williams. We ended up having drinks with some of the artists or some of the actors afterwards, and I believe he was there too. And he said, as this very talented person, he said that he can't believe the amount of talent that is in this one little area in little northern Ontario.
Yeah. I know. It is amazing. And when I go to the shows now, I'm just so thrilled to see all the young people that are up on stage. It's continuing. It just keeps on. Yes. We cannot get, everybody on stage because there's so many people.
Isn't it crazy?
And back when I first started with Richard, I actually knew Richard in Toronto. I did a show for him. We used to have a show, a contest called the Dominion Drama Festival, and Richard was very much a part of that. And so I worked for him in a show in Toronto, and then of course I met Jay. I moved up to the Sioux, and one day in my mailbox I got a stack of scripts. Now I had heard that Richard and Leela had moved to the Sioux and lived just around the corner with me, from me, in Point Louise. So I got on my bike and I rode over there because I thought, I know what these are. So anyway, I walked into their yard, and Leela, in her beautiful Russian accent, Richard, who is this? And Richard looked up. He was barbecuing. He says, "Oh, I don't know."
What?
I said, "Well, Richard, actually, you do know me."
What? How dare he?
I know. Well, he was like that.
Yeah. Well, he probably runs into how many people?
Yeah. So he was going to do Jesus Christ Superstar at Cora Collegiate. So I went and auditioned, and that was the start of my 70 dramas that I did and musicals, and oh my goodness, we did so much. And at Pull Chain, and then at the Windsor, we did a lot of shows at the Windsor.
Were you ever involved with Stage North?
Yes, I did Stage North, and Sioux Theatre Workshop. Yes, I did a lot for them too.
Yeah, and it's amazing that we have had all of these things to go on again in our small little Northern Ontario town. And
I know.
You wouldn't believe it, but I believe we're over 124 episodes of the book cover, and we've only duplicated a handful of times. I'd say we duplicated around 10 times.
Oh.
So that's
I
how
think
many.
It's fabulous. I mean, it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful to be part of it. I mean, I love living in the Sioux. Yeah,
now
because of the talent that we just
it's crazy. So you're not from the Sioux originally?
No, I am actually I was actually born in Liverpool, England, and lived in London, and came over here with my parents, of course, and we settled in Toronto, and then I got to know some people, and then one day this guy said, "I'm having a party." And this person and this person and Jay Rajnovich from Sault Ste. Marie is going to be there. And I went, oh, okay. So I went, and he sat down next to me, and I asked him, "Where's Sault Ste. Marie?"
How dare you? The nerve!
I know.
The nerve.
Honestly, Lisa, you should have seen the look I got.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, 48 years later,
and the rest is history.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you already told us about some of the things that you have coming up. Now, they're all children's books in the Red Barn series?
Well, yes, I am. I have got about 3 or 4 more children's books that I'm going to complete. But I am also working on another book with a friend of mine who I have known since high school in Toronto. And we are devising a book where we are writing letters back and forth to one another.
I've had that idea.
So we have about 7
that.
chapters. Yeah, we have about 7 chapters done already. And I'm meeting her actually when I get back to Toronto, 1st of March. Mary Lou and I are going to meet up and just do a sort of a storyboard of everything that we've got so far and see where we're going.
Amazing.
And you know what the fascinating thing is, because I didn't meet Mary Lou until she was 15 when we went to high school. And so all of her growing up period and all of my growing up period, we did not know one another. So it's fascinating for me to see the kind of life that she was leading as a child, and and of course my traveling all over the place.
It was so different.
So I'm finally ending up in Toronto. So so we're very serious about, and I have told Brian about us doing that, and he thought it was a good idea as well. So. We'll see.
Of course he did. And so now back to Brian and Tagona Press. So you released these 3 books of the Red Barn series, 4 Foxes Late for Dinner, The Mouse with the Curly Hair, and The Otter That Didn't Like Water. You had released those as single books, and you had published them on your own?
No, actually, I only did The Mouse with the Curly Hair.
Okay.
And that was the one that you saw me in on Facebook. And I think I told you I was a bit disappointed at the printing of it.
Yeah, tell me about that.
And that's when you told me.
What were you upset about? Remind me what you didn't like about that.
Well, because I did not know at the time how to put the text onto the picture.
Okay.
So I had done text, picture, text, picture.
Oh, okay, I see.
And when I saw it, I realized, because I had been down to the bookstore and gone through numerous children's books and looking at them and everything, and I realized that I had to learn how to do that.
Right.
So when I saw what I had given to the printer in Sault Ste. Marie, I realized that they had just done what I gave them, and of course they would.
Sure.
So anyway, when I got everything back and I started to realize that I had to learn a lot more about how to put the book together so that it would be presentable for Brian. And then, of course, you told me about Brian, and when we had our first initial meeting, it was a very successful meeting. And so anyway, so I gave him all three stories, and that's what we got. This the Red Barn series, which was volume 1, and the next 3 stories, I guess, will be volume 2.
So why? Whose suggestion was it to put all 3 stories into one book?
That was actually Brian's. I thought they were going to be published separately, because we had talked about having a sort of a little case where we could put all the books in, volume 1, 2, 3, 4, and up.
Yeah.
And so I think when he sent it away to be published, he decided to put them all in one book, which I was kind of surprised at. But, I think eventually, though, when I get, the 3, 4, or the 5 more stories that I'm working on right now, I think we will come back to putting them individually.
Right.
Yeah.
And they can
so that they'll be in a...
I'm already envisioning it. It's you could have like a cardboard barn.
Yes.
And all the books are in the barn.
Oh, what a good idea.
Oh, I've got so many good ideas, Barbara. You have no idea. Nobody listens to me.
No.
I still have so from whenever J.K. Rowling did her 7th book in the Harry Potter series, because you mentioned Harry Potter, I have this cardboard, it's very sturdy, chest like they used to, like Harry Potter has to keep all his clothes in. And I have all 7 hardcover books, and they're still in the plastic.
Oh, yes.
I'm such a nerd, Barbara.
I do too. Like when I was working at Bawading, I also did some time in the library. And
it sounds like jail.
Ordered...
It sounds like jail. You did some time in the library. It's a nice
ordered
place.
the Harry Potter series at the time. Of course, it was just the first book and the second book and so on. Mm-hmm. The kids just loved them. I couldn't keep them in the. I used to have to go racing around like it's time for that book to come back. Somebody else wants to read it.
Yes.
But they were very popular.
Yeah, and they're coming up with a new movie. And it's happens like 20 years later or 25 years later after the last one. It's called The Cursed Child. Oh. So that is 2026, I think, is the movie. I don't know if there's a book. I looked for the book and I couldn't find it. But anyway, this isn't J.K. Rowling's interview. This is your interview. So let's talk about you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
right.
So even though you haven't had a formal book launch, the book is still available from Tagona Press?
Yes, it's available on Amazon, amazon.ca.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's through Tagona as well?
Yes.
Yes.
I guess, yes, it is. I must tell you also, here in Kings Beach, where my son lives, I took one of my books down to the little library here, and they were thrilled. Oh. They couldn't believe it. I said, well, I'm Jack's Nana, and Jack. This is the library that Jack goes to all the time. So I donated one of my books to them, and it was kind of a very unique experience. I looked at it, and I thought, oh, my goodness.
Here's my book on a
it
shelf.
went across the desk. I thought, and so they put a little, tag on it and the thing on the back and the whole 9 yards.
Oh, that's so cute. And I bet you Jack walks into there now with his chest out, thinking he is the baddest dude that ever lived, because his grandma, Nana, has a book in his library.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd love to hear that conversation, him talking to his buddy. Well, my Nana has a book in my library.
Yeah.
I love it. And if someone was looking to purchase a print copy here locally, do you have any physical copies anywhere in town?
Oh, yes, because I thought I was going to have my launch. I got about 20 copies.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought 5 away with me, and so I have 15 at home.
Mm-hmm.
That I was going to sell at the launch, or whatever one does at a launch.
Yeah,
Um,
sign and
so
sell.
yeah, so I have physical copies, which when I get back, I will go down to the library, and because what I really would like to do is to read my stories if they get a group of kids together.
Oh yes, they'll do
And
that.
I
They
would
will
like
do that.
to, I would like to read my stories, or I always thought about going to the library and reading, any book to kids, because, I do so much of it here.
No kidding. You're pretty much a master at it, probably, with grandkids. Well, that would be wonderful. If you need any help with your, connecting with people at the library, I will certainly help you with that. And don't
Oh, that would
forget
be
that
lovely.
Marnie Stone at Stone's Office
Yes.
Supply, she has a little local author. I don't want to say library because she doesn't lend them out. She sells them. So a little local author book section. So if you drop
Oh,
your
okay.
books
Yes,
off,
I think yes,
you,
right. I will bring one into her, because I think you mentioned to me before.
mm-hmm.
And of course I was off on my little trips around to see my grandkids and kids. So yes,
Yeah,
I'm going to do that as soon as I get back.
yeah, it's one of
I
the
will
only
be.
places that in town that has all the local books together, and
Oh,
they
that's
they do
wonderful,
have
isn't
quite
it?
a few children's and adults both. They've got
Hmm.
nonfiction, fiction. They've got a couple of the MacGuffins down there. They've got, Farmer Bob's
Oh,
book. I think they've got down there. Lloyd Watson from the Sioux here. Anyway, she's got quite a few down there. So
yeah.
just give her a call,
Oh,
and
good.
she'll do that. And it's
I
nice
will.
because some people are old school. They do like to go look at the book, look inside, see what it is. Like not everybody likes to
Hmm.
online purchase, which I don't understand, but
Hmm. Yeah.
well, that's wonderful. So your next group of books, when do you expect them to be ready for the public?
Well, I've got Trudy working on the illustrations for The Llama That Loves Drama. So we're going to meet up when I get back to the Sioux. And she's busy working on all of the pictures. We sat down before I left and marked, throughout the story where we would thought that an illustration would go. And so we'll see where we are when I get back. And I'm looking to find somebody else to do Jack and Pookie Bear,
Mm-hmm.
um, and red, blue, and red and blue.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm always looking for illustrators. But my son, who is the CEO of Sector Flow, is just showing me this morning this section of his company where he's going to do AI. So
Ah.
I may try one with AI,
Just for something different.
just to see just to see what it looks like, and it might be just easier
Yeah, it might
to
be.
instead of always trying to. As much as I love the common touch, the the person who actually does it, I like them to be an actual person.
Yes.
It's a lot of work for some people.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure it is. Yeah. There is one thing that
Yeah.
I've noticed about AI versus human being drawn or done is the AI lacks soul, and you'll see what I mean
Yes. Yeah.
when you get down to it. I'm wondering what a great project for one of the local high school art classes too.
Well, yes, I think I might. I'm just trying to think. I've been retired from teaching now, 15 years. And, most of the artists, the art teachers that I knew
Mm-hmm.
have all retired as well. So it's like I would go into the high school and I won't know anybody, I think.
I'll send you some names.
Okay, good. I'd love that.
I should really be your agent, Barbara.
Okay, you're hired.
I will handle all marketing and great ideas. That will be my department.
All right, you're on. That's fabulous. I would love that.
Well, all kidding aside, I look forward to seeing you at your book launch when you're back in Canada. And
okay.
I hope that this partnership with Tagona Press does well. I know that other writers that we've had on have had very good success working with Brian Davies over at Tagona Press. So I look forward to that. And thank you so much for taking time. I know it's hard because you're 3 hours difference, and we had to get your son's phone, and and last time we tried this,
I'll be glad when
we had
it's
technical
times like this. I'll be glad to get home.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, when you come home, I'll be looking for that launch date, and I'll make sure I advertise that on the book cover.
All right. Thank you so much, Lisa. This is such a joy to do this.
Thank you, Barbara Rajnovich. And author, children's books, the Red Barn series. So right now we've got 4 foxes late for dinner, the mouse with the curly hair, and the otter that didn't like water. And those are available at Tagona Press and Amazon.ca. Thanks so much, Barbara.
Thank you, Lisa. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You've been listening to The Book Cover on The Borderline. This is Lisa Tucker, and remember, don't judge a book by its cover.
Hello, my name is Barbara Rajnovich, and I'm the author of the Red Barn series. These books are available through Tagona Press and Amazon.ca. I want to thank Lisa Tucker of The Book Cover for having me on, and you can listen to this wherever you get your podcasts.